All right, we are live, Facebook Live, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Joe Murray.
Hello.
Alex Barth is here. It just happens to be halftime of the Celtics game, so the Patriots will be on the clock in just about 3 picks. Let's not recap, Alex. Let's just talk about who's currently on the board right now. And the more I look at it, I'm going to tell you, if the Patriots want to select a player that could actually impact the team this year, they're available on the board.
Yes.
I digress by saying I think they're going to trade because of that reason.
So here's the thing about that. It's not an easy year to trade down. We've seen that so far tonight. You had the Bears moving down just one spot. You have all these trades with these teams amongst themselves in the top 12, right? That looks a little bit different. Even if they want to trade down, Joe, takes 2 to tango. I'm not positive the trade is there. I'm not sure the trade's there. It might be, but this is not a typical year when it comes to the trade market. That's just something to keep in mind. But there is a lot of talent on the board. Somebody's stupid. Either I'm stupid or these teams are stupid. But there are players that I thought definitively should not have gotten past the top 10 or the top 12 that are going to be there. We're 1 pick away, Joe, here. We'll see what Detroit does. And corner is a need for them.
So is Christian Gonzalez still on the board? I saw
Right.
Skoronski went to the Titans.
Skoronski went. We're 1 pick away from knowing they're going to have a shot at least one of Christian Gonzalez or Jackson Smith and Jigba, who are blue chip prospects.
How do they pass? How do they pass on them?
We're going to find out, right? We're going to find out.
The only thing I can think right now is a lot of teams have traded. The first 6 picks were from 3 teams.
Right.
So now teams are trading back a little bit to get the player that they want.
Right.
Could the Patriots potentially do that? Alex, I didn't think Christian Gonzalez would be here.
I didn't. I thought he was going to be the first corner off the board. I thought if he gets out of the top 5, hit 6, 7, one of those picks. I thought Vegas made a ton of sense for him. I do not get that Tyree Wilson pick at all. This is kind of what we thought. This is the fall a lot of people projected for Tyree Wilson, was that if he gets past that 6, 7, 8, 9 range, he's probably going to be on the board for the Patriots at 14. That's where we're at right now with Christian Gonzalez. I am very surprised. For people who don't know about the player, 6'2", 200 pounds, the first thing you see when you watch Christian Gonzalez, everybody worries about the big corners because they're clunky. They don't move well, right? Anytime I mention a corner over 6'2" during draft season, people yell at me the name Juwan Williams. Christian Gonzalez moves so smoothly, gets in and out of breaks, can run with receivers. It's just all effortless. He's got great straight line speed, was a 4.3 guy in a 40-inch vertical. He's still a little raw. He hasn't played a lot of football. He needs to see more football and see more routes to get better, but oh boy, can he play. Is his upside tremendous. So a lot of people like Devin Witherspoon, and they had him as the cornerback one. To me, Christian Gonzalez is just Devin Witherspoon, but 2 inches taller. If they get Christian Gonzalez, Joe, everybody should be very, very happy. Who'd the Lions take here?
All right, and the pick is in on the Lions right now.
Who did they take with their first one?
And well, they traded back.
Right, but they not that far.
And I'm looking at the draft cast right now, and again, a lot of this is happening live.
Whoa! Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, Joe.
A running back went 12?
Two running backs in the top 12.
So the Lions took him.
Woo!
They're going to ride Gibbs.
And there was a little rumor. I don't think it picked up a lot of steam.
Did you see this guy's reaction, by the way?
I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm so excited about this. There was a little rumor last week that the Lions were shopping DeAndre Swift.
Wow.
And here we are. Whoa.
Gibbs is a shocker. It's an absolute shocker.
I had Gibbs over Bijan Robinson on my board.
Listen, it was the over-under was 1.5 on running backs. It's over. So if you bet that, you want it, boom, boom, done. The fact that Christian Gonzalez is on the board, the fact that Broderick Thomas is on the board, and available right now, to me, Will Levis is on the board. And the report is that if Levis falls to 14, the Patriots are not interested. So for those who look at that, that's at least one thing.
That was Jeff Howe who had that.
Yep. So Jackson Smith and Jigba is still on the board.
They are going to have a shot to draft one of Jackson Smith and Jigba or Christian Gonzalez.
So
we know that because it's the Packers and then them.
So right now, what happened earlier this week with the Aaron Rodgers trade, there was a flip-flop.
Right.
So the Packers now are at 13. Patriots are sandwiched between them and the Jets.
So I will say this. There was a report out there. The Jets did not want to make that swap. The Packers insisted on it because they wanted JSN. So I would not be shocked if this is JSN here at 13.
So, again, we're reacting to Gibbs going to the Lions. I didn't see that happen.
This is great from Field Yates. How many running backs have gone?
2.
How many receivers have gone?
0.
What year is it?
Yeah, I know. Here we are in 2023, and 2 running backs are off the board. We talked about this in the pre-show today about wide receivers that could go. And I think we had 1.5. Maybe Zay Flowers goes as the other. But if a receiver, here's the deal. The Patriots, if they need a receiver, they have at least 2 right now on the board. Flowers, you mentioned that they're linked to.
So I'll say this. I know people really like Zay Flowers, and we didn't talk a lot about JSN to the Patriots simply because we didn't think he was going to get here. And we'll see. I think there's a chance Packers take him. JSN and Zay Flowers are different tiers of receiver. JSN's ready to come in right away. As much as I like Flowers' game and as much as it would be cool, Boston College, all of that, it's a different kind of player. He's a different kind of player. You got to take JSN over Zay Flowers if you're going wide receiver. I might take Christian Gonzalez over both of them, honestly.
So that's where I'm at right now.
So the one thing to keep in mind with that, though, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
So, all right, if you're going corner here and you're going to say we're going to get a wide receiver later, the day 2 corners are leaps and bounds better than the day 2 wide receivers. So if you're somebody that feels like you need to get a receiver, you're going JSN here. If they feel like they have enough in that wide receiver room, maybe they can add a day 3 guy or something. Maybe there's a trade in the books, Jerry Jeudy. Then you go with the corner here.
And the Green Bay Packers are on the board. What could they be looking at? Tackle? What could they be looking at here since the trade?
It's similar needs to the Patriots. It is. I think this is going to be JSN. If one of those other tackles had fallen,
they'd go to another wide receiver considering Aaron Rodgers is gone?
Yeah.
Well, they do need one.
Yeah, you need one, and it's not like they're starting from scratch, right? They're committed to Jordan Love. They're not saying, well, we're going to start over at quarterback. No, they're moving on to the next guy. Best thing you can do for a young quarterback is get him a receiver, and I talked about this earlier with Josh Downs, but it's really JSN. The most quarterback-friendly receiver in the draft. What better move could you make for your young quarterback who is in a very high-pressure situation than get him an incredibly quarterback-friendly wide receiver? So, also, they kind of get to stick it to Aaron Rodgers. Don't you think they want to do that after not taking a skill position player with their first-round pick his whole time there, or most of his time there, whatever it was? I think they took one in like 2008. To be able to take a wide receiver, I think they'd like to do that.
So, if we're talking about best player available, it's Christian Gonzalez, if you ask me. If it falls to them at 14, this was a potential top 10 pick. It's also a need. Alex, did they bring him in for a visit? Do you know anything?
They met with him at the Combine.
Okay.
We don't know. I hate definitively saying no, they didn't have him in with the visit. Because, for instance, last year, they met with Tyquan Thornton. We never found out until after the draft. But there is no meeting on the books with him here. But they did speak with him at the Combine. So they have talked to him. And also, different side of the ball, but they do now have a member of that Oregon coaching staff in the building, Adrian Clem.
Yeah.
So I think they're relatively connected with Gonzalez. I do. Not to the level that, they met with Zay Flowers 15 times. But oh, wow. No, they made a bad pick. They're going to have a shot at the Packers took Luke Van Ness.
Wow.
Over Miles Murphy, over Nolan Smith.
They took a defensive player with all the holes that they have on offense. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So the Patriots are going to trade back because there's too much value on the board. It's going to happen.
Honestly, at this point, I know people don't want to hear this. If you could trade back like 2 or 3 spots, you're still going to get a really good player.
That's the thing. Now let's look at the draft order right now. Is there a team that would trade up? I mean, I don't know if the Jets would trade up. Like, would they want another receiver to help out? I mean, I don't know. I don't think they need another receiver personally. But could they look somewhere else? And I'm trying to.
The Jets are going to take a tackle. Jets should take a tackle. That was a bizarre pick. I'm sorry, I need a second.
No, that
was a bizarre pick.
This is the whole thing. And I remember we talked about it in the pre-show. His over-under was 14.5. He gets taken at 13. So Jackson Smith and Jigba was 12.5. Here he is now. That's gone over. So right now the Patriots have their chance at 2 top 10 picks and the next best tackle in the draft, right? So the best tackle available is there, which they need. They need another cornerback. Arguably the best ones available, and the best wide receivers available in the draft. If they trade back, it makes sense if they want more collateral, down the line, maybe another pick this draft or even next year, and maybe somebody trades up and gives them what they need. I wouldn't be upset if they did trade back maybe 3 picks.
So I look at the
picks.
Steelers at 17, especially with this run on tackles. They need a tackle. They know the Jets are going to take a tackle. Do you jump the Jets, move up, take Broderick Jones here? I don't think you have to worry too much about moving back just 3 picks. It's a trade I've done in my mock draft, 17 and 80 for 14. That's the move I would make right here. If I'm the Patriots, I would call the Steelers and say, do you want the tackle the Jets are trying to take?
So here's who's available. Christian Gonzalez, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Broderick Jones. If they want to go edge, Miles Murphy, Nolan Smith. Joey Porter is still there, but with Gonzalez on the and Deontay
you don't know
Banks
with them.
is another guy.
I wouldn't rule out Brian Branch from Alabama, too, the safeties. The best safety in this draft. You might be the only NFL-ready safety in this draft. They haven't addressed the safety room since Devin McCourty retired. I'm going Gonzalez here from them. I'm going Gonzalez here. I'm not going to be mad if they take JSN. I'm not going to be mad if they take Broderick Jones. I'll be a little confused if they take Zay just because JSN's still on the board. But
so I think taking the tackle is the safe play here. But if they want...
I actually think it's the corner just because of who the tackle is.
Well, because he's available, right? I mean, they're getting the 3rd best tackle, right? Potentially right now in the draft. If they settled on the tackle, which they could trade back and get... If they identify Jones, trade back. If that's their guy, trade back. You have literally 2 top 10 talents on the board.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time where the Patriots have had a top 10 talent on the board. And I'm thinking back. I don't think they've had a guy where guys projected to go in the top 10 available at 14 or 15.
Look, there's normally a couple every year, but you find out afterwards why. Again, I go back to Nakobe Dean last year. We all thought he was a top 15 lock, falls to the 3rd round, and then after the draft, we find out there's a shoulder injury we didn't know about, which you have to remember with these guys. Let's not react right away if they don't take the guy we think they should take. Maybe something comes out later on. But this is going to be wild. This is such a good board for them.
We're interested. And what's funny is
if I do this mock, people are calling me out for being unrealistic. People are getting mad at me for saying it's unrealistic.
Well, forget about that.
I'm a Patriots owner.
The Patriots do whatever they want to do. So whatever we project.
No, but I'm saying just to get it to this point.
I'll tell you right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they did trade back. And I haven't seen the Patriots at number 14. They've traded
with the Steelers. With the Steelers.
This guy knows.
It's going to be 17 and 80. I bet it's going to be 17 and 80.
What this means to me, Alex, is that they didn't identify a tackle. This means that, again, if it's what the Steelers said. So
I bet the Steelers are coming up for Broderick Jones. I don't entirely mind the Patriots passing on Broderick Jones here.
Oh, I'm okay with it because look at the talent that's still on the board.
Yeah.
Like the Steelers need a tackle.
They got 17 and 117. They didn't get another.
Wow, they didn't get anything
else. They didn't get another top 100. All right. Oh, wait. No, the Patriots have 117. Hang on.
This is all happening on the fly. You know what's funny? I was going to mention this. I didn't see any leaks, any reports. The only thing I saw is the Patriots are selecting no one. They've traded with the Steelers. So we'll get that return.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a little
It's
bit
a
more.
Fourth. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm looking up what fourth.
Just a fourth, huh?
You know what? Because nobody wants to move up in this draft. Nobody wants to move up. Nobody wants to pay the price. This is what I said when we came on, Joe. It is a tough year to move up. We might as well just stay here with the people, right?
Yeah. Whatever the boss wants to do, we're here, and we'll keep you updated if anything happens big in the Celtics game. Obviously,
I know people don't want to hear this right now. I know they don't, but I'm going to say it anyway. I said it on the Sunday Football Show. Don't get, the Patriots traded up. Nah, don't do that yet. Let's see who they got. Because if they get JSN at 17 and they picked up a pick tomorrow, oh, buddy, cooking with gas.
Yeah. So
if they traded back to 17 to take Andre Carter from Army, who I think is a good player, but not at 17, it's not a great trade.
That's where I look at it right now. They had the luxury. I shouldn't even say they had the luxury of letting players fall to them at 14. They don't want Broderick Jones.
Which
they don't want Broderick Jones.
I think is fair.
Yeah. So if they want to try to move back, they move back 3 picks, everybody.
Right. It's not like they moved to 29.
So still, if you want Christian Gonzalez, and I guess that's what we should look up next.
So, okay.
Who else is on the board?
I think the Steelers, my guess would be his tackle. I've seen most of their draft buzz has been tackle.
And that jumps in front of the Jets, who may have taken him.
Now the Jets maybe look to trade back. So then you have Washington at 16. Washington could take Christian Gonzalez. They could. I don't think they will. They could. If Gonzalez goes in this range, it's because the Jets traded out and somebody moved up to get him, which that's the dangerous game you play here. When teams move back, I think they generally understand, okay, here's who's in between where we are and where we're going. Here's what they need. Here's who might go. They're not, if they're trading back and they have a certain player in mind, they're not fretting about the Jets taking that guy or the Commanders taking that guy. The dangerous game you play is somebody else going to trade up into that spot and take them. Now, there was a rumor that the Jets want to reunite Garrett Wilson with Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Ohio State guys.
Oh, boy.
So.
Oh, boy. Imagine trading out for that.
The Jets get JSN.
That won't go over well.
But you know what? Joe? If they get Christian Gonzalez on the back end of it, I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah. They
because
counteract. Yeah,
if you were going to take Christian Gonzalez at 14, the Jets were going to get JSN anyway. You weren't going to stop that. Maybe they would have taken Broderick Jones, but the Jets are in a really bad spot here. The Patriots kind of gave it to the Jets here. We'll see how they react, but the Jets didn't want that. They wanted to tackle.
Let me ask you about another team, Washington. What do they do? You got to figure the Steelers are on the board at tackle.
So Washington, to me, is a Will Levis spot. I mocked him there. They haven't had a quarterback in a long time. Long time.
They have Sam Howell, who I thought he was very good at North Carolina, had a tough year, and then fell in the draft. So can they go with him? I think they can. But now you have you have a first-round pick available. So you might be right about that. But they could lose tackle. Broderick Jones, Steelers.
Broderick Jones, yep. So
there you go. So the Patriots trade back from 14 to 17. Steelers trade up to get the tackle. So that means that the Patriots were not in on Jones. So we know.
No, so it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that there are enough players they like where they didn't have to have Broderick. They may say, so how this works, right? They have X number of players graded as first-round picks, and it's not 32. It's probably like 10. They did the math, and they said, we have 4 players graded as first-round picks. If we move back 3 spots, we still get an equal player. You know what this really tells me more? I think it tells me more about the guys they have than Broderick Jones. What this tells me, and Matt Gross said as much last week, by the way, they like the tackle group they have, at least in the short term. That doesn't mean they don't go tackle tomorrow. That doesn't mean they don't continue to add tackles elsewhere in this draft. But they like the tackle group they have right now. I really think they do.
So just to be clear, it was 14 and 120.
Yep.
So they get the 4th round. So really, they move back 3 picks and gain a 4th round pick. To Alex's point is that people aren't giving up as much to move up anymore. Maybe they're down on this draft. I still can't believe Christian Gonzalez is on the board or Jackson Smith and Jigba.
We're getting into that spot where I'm wondering if there's an injury we don't know about with Christian Gonzalez. We're getting into that spot.
Yep. There are other players that are still there. Joey Porter Jr. is still on the board. If they've identified him, he'd be a nice find at, 17?
So he would be. I still think they're going to like Deonte Banks better. More their guy, technician, tested better at the combine. You're drafting Joey Porter for size. Like, you're drafting Joey Porter because we want a 6'2" corner. I think the Patriots are good with 6 feet and a 42-inch vertical.
Remember earlier in the show, we talked about need versus best player available. Where are we at right now, Alex?
Right in the middle. Right in the middle. They didn't want to push it with Broderick Jones. They said, look, we could use a tackle, but we like the group we have. We can pick up some assets, still get a player we really like a little later on. Yeah.
It's so funny that I'm reading some of these chats, right?
Yeah.
Barth is just picking names out of a hat right now.
People think I make up names. Just wait till we get to Shocky Jacques Louis from Akron on day 3. That's a real guy.
People are very upset that they left some guys on the board.
I thought you were going to say they were upset with me.
No, listen, you're doing a great job. When has there been a draft where we've literally sat there and said, oh, yeah, maybe Mac Jones. Maybe Mac Jones is the only one who we're like, wow, it's going to fall to them.
Even there, we were thinking they were going to go with Elijah Vera Tucker. We thought they might take a guard instead of a quarterback, and the Jets moved up and saved them from themselves.
I'm curious what the Jets do here. If you mention Smith and Jigba,
so
wow.
By the way, there's a report right now. The Jets, the Steelers knew the Jets wanted Broderick Jones.
There you go. So what? Now I wonder if they trade back now. Right? It's been for the Jets. Here we are now.
I wouldn't rule that out. If the JSN rumor's true, I think they go JSN here. If not, but you got to find somebody to trade back with. That goes back to the point. Takes 2 to tango.
People are down. I feel like people are down on this draft, or the scouts are down on this draft.
I don't blame them.
People that we've projected to be top 10. Top 15 are going to fall out of it?
Well, here's what you have to remember. It's been odd positionally. It's been an odd draft positionally. You had the run on quarterbacks early. We had 2 running backs go. Part of the reason we had these guys going high was, nobody had Jahmyr Gibbs in the top 12. So that's Christian Gonzalez, or that's Broderick Jones, or that's whoever, right?
Should we credit the Patriots for trading back so the Jets couldn't get Broderick Jones?
Let's see who they take at 17.
Yeah.
Let's see who they take at 17.
So I was going to say, that might be one thing to look at here.
Yeah.
As I'm just trying to check in with. All right. So, yep, they wouldn't. It is interesting. Jim mentioned this, our buddy Jim, who's back there helping us out on Facebook Live today.
Yeah.
Howe said that they wouldn't take Levis at 14.
Would they take him at 17? I still think he goes to Washington. The other thing I'll say, I know
there's too much talent on the board for them to take Levis.
I know. Also, I know nobody wants to hear this. They're trading up tomorrow. They're not picking up 46. They're trading up tomorrow. They added another 4th. They have 4 fourths. They are moving up tomorrow and getting somebody. Darnell Washington. Jahmyr Gibbs has been my day 2 trade up guy. I guess now that's not an option.
Mark Bertrand checking in. Take Jackson Smith and Jigba. He is all over it. Take him now.
Look, it's JSN or it's Christian Gonzalez at this point. I think that the gap after that is significant.
So again, we're waiting on what the Jets are going to do. What are the Jets going to do right now?
I think it's going to be JSN. They're gonna upset a lot of people.
Wow. It is very funny though. The people are very upset that the Patriots traded out, and now nobody knows what's going on. Greg Bedard, who will join us in our postgame show today, said he talked to some OT-needed teams that did not love Broderick Jones off the field.
There's some other people saying that too.
So a little bit of an off-the-field thing maybe for Broderick Jones. So here we are now. We're still waiting on what the Jets do. Whatever the Jets do, and again, Levis is still on the board. Maybe Washington's there. But it means that if a quarterback is drafted, Christian Gonzalez, Jackson Smith, and Jigba will be on the board. Joey Porter Jr. will be available. I'm going to call them blue chips. There are blue chips on the board, Alex.
Yeah, that's exactly the term I would use. There's 2 of them.
And
now look, there's 2 picks before the Patriots, but there's 2 of them.
Yep, the Jets are
the Jets are celebrating something.
So we'll see if we got a report on what's happening with the Jets right now. But the Patriots have traded 3 spots back. We know that the Jets ended up moving up in the draft because of the trade with Green Bay.
The Patriots just reset their draft picks tomorrow. Round 4, 117, 107, 117, 120. They are moving up tomorrow. I know people only care about tonight right now. They're moving up tomorrow.
So we're still waiting for any reports. It looks like just on the television feed that the Jets pick is in. We haven't seen any updates yet on what the Jets pick. Some people want to shout out. I'm just reading some of the people
The Jets
on Facebook
took
Live.
Will McDonald.
What?
From Iowa State. He's like a fringe first round, second round edge guy. That's a weird one. Patriots won that.
I didn't have him on my board.
Patriots won that trade. I didn't have him in any first round mocks.
I have to go back in time to find him. That's who they identified?
I think they panicked. We saw them clapping, I guess, but I think they panicked. I think the Jets wanted Broderick Jones and panicked.
Wow. The Pats, whatever the Pats do, we're going to be shocked. At this point, there are 2 picks so far that I'm wowed on.
Look, I'll tell you this. What are the 2 picks?
Gibbs and this.
The Gibbs pick is a wow, but I get it. The Gibbs pick is a wow, but you added a good player. That's Cole Strange-ish. That's really weird. That's a really weird pick. I'll just say it.
I mean, they have a good defense. We know they have a good defense. Will McDonald was and I've read some things. I know he was linked to the Cowboys.
I think he met with the Patriots actually at one point as well. So I had him. I had him as the 8th edge guy on my board.
If Bill trades down from 17, right, what would they get? Like if he went from 17 to 18 or
Not
19.
Not much, just based on what they got from the Steelers. Yeah, 4th, 5th round pick probably.
So at this point, take a guy. Take a guy.
Will McDonald would have been like, that's the guy I was dreading they're like moving back for, right? I don't get that at all.
So the Jets, again, I don't understand it.
How do you think Rodgers feels about that?
Well, I mean, I think they made some moves already for him.
The Packers refused to draft him skill positions
what
for
would you
years.
do? Draft a tight end there? Maybe.
JSN.
They are kind
Get
of
him a tackle.
So I think you're right that they panicked when Jones came off the board.
They had because just to put the hat on, they probably had Will McDonald in the 2nd, right? They were like, all right, that's our top guy at 42. They only had Broderick Jones on their board at 14. Maybe they had other guys who got taken, or at 13. Said, all right, who's next? Well, we're going to take this guy tomorrow. Just take him now.
All right, I think I haven't seen this yet, but I think Jackson Smith and Jigba's off the board.
To Washington.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting. I got my sources.
Him and Terry McLaurin would be something. I'll say that.
Maybe that could entice a quarterback to go to them or trade for some. And then they got Eric Bieniemy now on their offense. So maybe that they're looking at that as maybe they go wide receiver first. But, wow, here we are waiting for the Patriots once again. And Washington's a wild card here. Obviously, they need a quarterback. Well, they have Sam. Again, for those who don't know much about Sam Howell, he was at North Carolina and some people thought he could have been a projected first-round pick. He stayed in school, had somewhat of a subpar year, and was a 5th-round pick. Ended up getting a shot late in the season. They like him.
Ooh. Wasn't JSN.
Wow, who was it off the board?
Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback, Mississippi State. So I heard a little thing today. The Patriots really liked Forbes. I think they liked him tomorrow. My comp for him is Trayvon Diggs. He is highly productive on the ball, but that's because he's very aggressive for the ball. He is boom or bust. He creates a lot of turnovers, but he gives up a lot of big plays. I think the Patriots drafted him and brought him in. The upside to me was J.C. Jackson. There's got to be something up with Christian Gonzalez. There's got to be an injury or something we don't know about.
This is one of the better drafts I can remember, Alex. This is wild. This is absolutely wild right now what's going on. I did not see, again, the kid from Iowa State, McDonald, no shot, okay?
Yeah.
Didn't have him anywhere near here. Forbes, okay, fine. The Patriots are now on the clock, and Jackson Smith-Njigba is still there. Christian Gonzalez is still there. Joey Porter is still there. Take them. Take them. Take them. Facebook, do you hear me? Take one of them.
All
you
right.
need best player available. They're all there.
Well, they match up here. The best player available, and they need. That's the dream. They match up.
Oh, this is going to be great.
I still think we're going to find out tomorrow morning that like Christian Gonzalez needs shoulder surgery or something.
What would be a crazy name right now? Like, why would they trade
Levis,
back for something like this?
Levis would be wild. Nolan Smith, I think. Like, if we're not going with the two guys, right?
Yeah. Edge
Gonzalez and
JSN.
JSN. Nolan Smith, Anton Harrison, if they go to tackle, would be the top tackle on the board, or DeJuan Jones from Ohio State. I think Zay is still in play here. Now, I would take JSN over Zay Flowers. Who knows?
Dalton Kincaid would be.
Oh, I'd hate it.
I'd hate that, too.
I'd hate it.
He'd be kind of. I like the player. But
take Darnell Washington at that point.
There's too much talent on this board right now.
No.
So Forbes is gone. Who's an interesting player from Mississippi State? I know he's climbed
I mean, Deonte Banks is still there as well. Miles Murphy, Brian Branch.
You're right about Gonzalez.
What?
How do these other corners are going before him?
Right. That's why I'm not saying with JSN. We haven't seen a receiver go yet. So maybe it's just not time for receivers. There's corners going over Christian Gonzalez. That's what's surprising to me here.
I will tell you this. The one guy I think that's fallen in this draft that to me I thought was one of the best defensive players in the country was Miles Murphy. I really liked him. I'd be shocked if they took him here. But just I had him slotted around 17 to 20.
I think one teams probably view him as a scheme-specific player. He's probably off teams' boards because of fit. I also think he played next to Brian Brzee, who's another really good defensive lineman, potential first-round pick. Will probably be the second defensive tackle off the board behind Jalen Carter. Obviously, there might be some, who was doing the work there, who was carrying the load between those two.
So let's recap. Patriots 14, trade to 17. Steelers take the tackle, which takes it away from the Jets. Jets settle on a defensive end. Washington's on the board. You thought maybe Levis, something else. They take Forbes, who is probably the third or fourth best corner in the draft.
Yeah.
Or projected. The Patriots are now at 17 with the same players on the board that were there at 14.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, look, they might have taken Emmanuel Forbes. That's the only, the other two guys I don't think they would have taken that went.
If they took Gonzalez here, I'm still thrilled. I don't care.
That's a home run. That's better than taking him at 14, right? You got another pick. And I know people, it's 120. Who cares? You have some. You didn't have it. Now you do.
If you want a buzz, it's Jackson Smith-Njigba. If you want buzz, it's him.
If it's so, you're saying if it's Robert Kraft in the draft room.
If you want a buzz, he's the guy.
He's gonna get people to camp.
Oh yeah. They're gonna run the 12 personnel. He's put him right on the outside.
Yeah.
He'll compete with Parker.
I don't know. They might put Juju on the outside there.
Yeah, you're right.
And I think JSN's a slot. I think you put him in the slot.
Perfect.
Let him what he does.
Done. He's on the field. He's on the field when there's not Gesicki.
No, that's your 11 is Parker, Juju, and JSN. Now that's not a very fast group. It's not, but they've never had a problem not being super fast. And you do have Tyquan Thornton coming in, and you can kind of give a change up there. That's why I thought they'd go Zay to add that speed element. It's Matt Groh last year, right? You want to get fast, you got to draft fast guys. That's Zay Flowers more than it is JSN. If we're talking just speed, I think JSN's a better player. I think he's a more complete player, but who's winning a foot race? It's Zay Flowers.
Still waiting to see what's going on with the Patriots. Haven't seen much reports.
Nothing.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised if they traded back. Alex has mentioned Zay Flowers' name a bunch of times. I would be a little bit shocked if it was here with all those players that are on the board.
I would be surprised. I know he was expecting to go in this range off of his meetings and everything. He was expecting to go somewhere in this range. There it is. Andrew Callahan.
Christian Gonzalez.
Christian Gonzalez.
Here we are.
Oregon. The Patriots just got traded down to 17 and got the best corner in the draft. Everybody, can we, Joe, three? Can we just on three exhale? 1, 2, 3.
So Christian Gonzalez projected to be the best cornerback in this year's draft. He's big. Was very good on that Oregon defense last year. He can go up against bigger receivers, has the speed, can tackle within the run as well. I've watched him a ton. They know about this team a little bit too, because obviously Clem's in here. Maybe they have a background on him.
Oregon.
Sorry, at Oregon.
With Adrian Clem.
I apologize.
You want the measurables?
Yes, please.
6'1", 197, 32-inch arms. That's a good number. 4'3", 840, 41.5-inch vertical. And 14 on the bench.
I love this pick. This is a top 10 pick that you're getting at 17. Yes, you traded down a little bit, but you kept the tackle away. There's a few things. You kept the tackle away from the Jets. You get a 4th-round pick. Washington gets their guy. Why? The Patriots could have traded up to get Gonzalez if they wanted him. They must have known Washington was in on Forbes. They move down. They get the 4th-round pick. They get Gonzalez. I'm in on it. I like the pick.
This is – knock it all you want. Can't do it. Can't do it. This is a player that should not have been available to them. I thought if they were going to get Christian Gonzalez, they were going to have to trade up. They traded back and got him. And this is why, folks, even the guy that locks himself in his office for 4 months to study the draft isn't always right. That's freaking outstanding, man.
I actually think it's great. It's a great move, everybody.
And look, maybe he pans out, maybe he doesn't, but I'll tell you this. In the moment, Joe, they made the right decision.
Yep.
They absolutely made the right decision.
Now, is there anybody you could look back at and say, oh, Forbes might have been the guy?
Well, no, they couldn't have taken because they traded back. Forbes is so here's the thing about Forbes. The casual fans are going to love him because he's going to post a lot of numbers. Again, the comp is Trayvon Diggs. He's going to have a lot of interceptions. He's also going to get beat a ton.
Can he wear number 0?
Gonzalez? If Jack Jones doesn't take it, yeah, he could. Well, it's for Oregon, too.
So what I like about him is that he's very physical. I mean, he's going to be one-on-one with bigger receivers. So let's look at the division, right?
They needed a bigger corner.
Yeah, they needed one. They haven't had one. J.C. Jackson was that guy. I think he can start, Alex. I think he'll start outside.
Yeah.
He'll compete with Jack Jones.
Well, no,
Jack
those
Jones
are your
is
2.
5'10", Jack Jones. You'll have Jonathan Jones who's back, and then Marcus Jones slot. But I think on the outside right now, you're going to have a competition between Gonzalez and Jack Jones. I think Gonzalez is a better player, or at least from what I've seen from a year of college.
Well, so the cool thing now, Jack Jones is that guy I just talked about, like Emmanuel Forbes. He's, all or nothing, make or break, big play one way or the other. It's either going to be a pick 6 or a touchdown. Christian Gonzalez is a lockdown corner. He's a guy that he's just not going to get thrown at. He's not going to put up big numbers. He's not going to get thrown at because he sticks to receivers. Having one of each of those guys is nice. You get a really good balance there. You can creatively game plan within that. That's a really good pairing on the boundary. You put Jonathan Jones back in the slot. or at safety. You can do all kinds of things with Marcus Jones. They've built a really great secondary here. So how many corners went ahead of him, Joe?
So 3, all right? It was, trying to think now. It was Forbes went ahead of him. And there was one other one that was drafted earlier, and I gotta look it up here.
Forbes went ahead of him. Witherspoon went ahead of him.
Witherspoon.
Porter, yeah, because Porter didn't go.
You have to like this pick, people. I know it's not maybe he was kind of a household name in this draft. People projected him to be the best corner in the draft.
They got the best corner in the draft.
Now, Witherspoon, I know, went ahead of him. It might have been more of a fit. But as far as need and best available, they got the best guy, Alex, and I'm with you on that one.
Here's my thing with Witherspoon. A lot of people really liked him, and he plays much more physically than Gonzalez. The one thing they are going to drill into Gonzalez when he gets here, not much factor in the run game. He's not. Now, in the past, they've cared about that. Jack Jones wasn't either. So they've kind of trended away from that. They're going to have to drill the run into him. Besides that, to me, Christian Gonzalez is just Devin Witherspoon, but 2 inches taller. I never got the people who had Witherspoon over Gonzalez. I never did. So that's the knock if there's a knock. Also, the last time they took a Oregon defensive back with their top pick? It was also the last time they took a player from Oregon?
Patrick Chung.
It was Patrick Chung.
There you go.
Turned out okay, I would say.
Do you know that we've talked about this before?
About Oregon?
We had this conversation before.
About Patrick Chung?
No, about Oregon defensive backs and who we were in a hallway one time at Beasley Media. I brought up.
I apologize. I don't remember this.
I brought up Oregon defensive backs that the Patriots have selected, and it was Patrick Chung. They struggled left, but he came back. We've had this discussion off air before.
Okay.
But yeah, to your point, you mentioned Patrick Chung was the last guy that they got from Oregon, and I remember having this conversation. I'm interested to.
And I think, don't quote me on this, I think Chung's still sort of involved with that program. So maybe there's something there too. I put more stock in the Adrian Clem thing. But
it was funny. Jalen Mills did tweet out before I know who we're picking.
He loves this because he's definitely playing safety. That whole thing that locked that in. He's a safety now.
Maybe that's why they brought him back, because they had him projected. I wonder if they would have traded up. I really like this pick. If we're really going to look at it, I like the player. I like that he fell to 17. Dane Brugler had this guy as the number 5 overall best player in the draft.
So I use a consensus board, and it's generally pretty spot on. Not in this case. It's generally pretty spot on, but they do. It takes the consensus of all the top. It takes the consensus of all the top experts. They had Christian Gonzalez as the 7th best player and as the 7th pick. You got him for more than double that.
Yeah.
More than double that.
All right, Alex. So we're going to wrap because we get to see the end of the fourth quarter here. The Celtics. So a lot has happened. So Patriots made their pick. Celtics went on a run.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up here quickly, but overall, I like the pick.
Love the pick.
Do you rule anything else out happening?
Well, they have all these 4th-round picks. I would not be surprised. I shouldn't say I wouldn't be surprised. I would guess they're done for tonight. But if we find out around pick 28, 29, 30, they're moving back up, would not be the strangest thing in the world. It wouldn't. But, Joe, they got the corner was their biggest need, and they got the best corner in the draft. That is what just happened. That is what the New England Patriots just did. I want people to know that.
The Lions ended up taking Jack Campbell, the linebacker.
What do the Lions know it's the first round? This is a great second round. This is a great second round they're having with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jack Campbell. Fantastic second round for the Lions.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We'll be on post game after the Celtics game. We'll get into that, and then we'll do draft coverage until 1 a.m. And if anything else happens tonight,
we'll have coverage 985thesportshub.com on all of it.
Alex is doing everything right now, so we'll get out of here. Thank you for joining us. We'll get to see the fourth quarter of the Celtics and Hawks game 6. Join us on 98.5 The Sports Hub for Celtics post game. It's Alex Barth. I'm Joe Murray. Thank you for joining us.